Your regional radio forecast. 48 today under cloudy skies. South winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. 30 tonight, cloudy skies expected. A mix of clouds and sun tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 47. A dusting of snow tomorrow night. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Currently, it's 23 degrees.
WTIM.
You're listening to WTIM, your information station. Time now for your expanded local news. I'm Reed Kamai. The Taylorville Park Board met on Monday evening and terminated the recreational director at their monthly meeting. Jessica Franks, who has been the recreational director for the last 2 years, was unanimously terminated by the Park Board. Park Board President Marlene Miller did not give a comment, but did say that Franks was an at-will employee like all Park Board employees. Jessica Franks gave a statement to Hart Media Group, quote, "I am disappointed in the entire board's decision and lack of transparency in their decision. I have proudly served our community at the Park District for almost 2 years, and I am saddened to see things come to this," end quote. Franks took over the recreational director position in April of 2024. The budget for fiscal year 2026-27 was filed. John Faldudo with Sawyer Faldudo Asset Management discussed finances and money markets with the park board. Under the pool rebuild, Marlene said that she has not heard much concerning the pool rebuild. Evan Mitchell gave an update on the skateboard park, saying that new equipment had been donated.
We've got some new stuff at our skate park at Don Bragg's Sports Complex, donated to us by Dino Toll, which is a volunteer of theirs who is spearheading their new skate park project, and Jeff Altoff, which is the recreation director for Effingham Park District. Originally, they planned on giving us 2 ramps, and they gave us 4. They gave us 2 4-foot tall steel quarter pipes, which they had promised us. And in addition to that, they also gave us 2 with a composite surface. One is a 4-foot tall quarter pipe, and one is a 12 or 18 foot long, what's called a box.
Frank says the farmers market is ready to go and announced some updates for the concerts this summer.
We've got everything squared away with farmers market. Small town Taylorville is still going to handle all of that, because they make sure everybody's permitted and stuff like that. So rather than me have to worry about people every single Saturday, they're going to still come every Saturday to make sure they're all permitted. And
are they going to be in the Chautauqua?
Yes, yeah. A couple of them want to still stay on the concrete, like out on the street. But
is Marcia Neal still?
That's who will be here each Saturday to make sure everything's going with that. We did receive an additional donation from Battery Specialist, $500. to go with their Christmas money for a concert in the summer. So that puts them a little over $2,000, but I'm still looking for a band for them. But I did get that first one May 1st booked. I had mentioned it last time. That one will be sponsored by McLean.
The park board then went into executive session where they deliberated for nearly 25 minutes before announcing the unanimous decision to terminate Franks. Hart Media Group also learned that Park Board member Blake Heimsness had also resigned from the Park Board. The next Park Board meeting is set for March 23rd. Moweaqua is facing a change in leadership following last Wednesday night's Village Council meeting. Mayor Sean Conlon has resigned from her position. The resignation came after the conclusion of the meeting and follows several months of concerns surrounding village finances. Village trustee Sean Hayes has stepped into the role of mayor pro tempore. Hayes will serve in that capacity while the village board determines its next steps, which are expected to be discussed at an upcoming council meeting. Financial issues have been a recurring topic in Moweaqua in recent months, including questions about budget shortfalls, overtime and comp time expenses, and overall spending practices. Those concerns have prompted budget cuts and ongoing discussions with auditors. At this point, village officials have not announced a permanent plan for filling the mayor's seat. More details are expected as the village board meets again and outlines how it plans to move forward. Taylorville police recovered 2 stolen vehicles and arrested a suspect following a series of incidents reported last Tuesday evening. According to the Taylorville Police Department, officers were first dispatched after receiving a report of a stolen Chevy Suburban, including a direction of travel. Within 30 minutes, a second report came in for a stolen 2026 Chevy Tahoe taken from the parking lot at St. Mary's School. Police alerted the community through social media as the investigation unfolded. Multiple Taylorville officers, detectives, and command staff responded, along with 2 deputies from the Christian County Sheriff's Office. K-9 Officer Pretty later located the stolen Suburban at Manners Park, while the police chief found the Tahoe on Webster Street. Both vehicles were still running when discovered. Investigators obtained surveillance video from St. Mary's School and the Park District, with police thanking both for their quick cooperation. Authorities say both vehicles were recovered undamaged and that nothing was taken from inside. Police report the suspect was quickly identified due to previous encounters and was taken into custody without incident. The suspect is being identified as 35-year-old Brandon Rhodes of Taylorville. Court records show Rhodes has been involved in multiple alleged vehicle thefts in recent weeks. On February 12th, he allegedly stole a vehicle in Taylorville and drove it to Springfield, where he is accused of stealing another vehicle before being arrested in Peoria. He was later released. After returning to Taylorville, police say he allegedly stole another vehicle and was arrested again on February 16th after the vehicle ran out of gas. He was booked on 2 counts of possession of a stolen vehicle and released on February 17th. Police noted that under current Illinois law, stolen vehicle offenses are not detainable. However, officials say the state's attorney may be able to argue at a future hearing that the suspect poses a safety risk to the community based on his history and the circumstances of the case. Taylorville police praised the teamwork involved in the investigation. Experts in nutrition are emphasizing the importance of making dairy a regular part of one's diet. Federal guidelines continue to recommend 3 servings per day of dairy. There are a number of ways of incorporating these products into customary meals. Monica Nyman is a senior nutrition educator with the St. Louis District Dairy Council. She says milk consists of no fewer than 13 key ingredients, and cheese and yogurt provide essential nutrients as well.
A couple of those are protein, calcium, potassium, B vitamins, all kinds of stuff in your milk. But other dairy foods like yogurt and cheese, those are also excellent sources of calcium and protein. And then yogurt specifically is a fermented food. So it gives you lots of really healthy bacteria that help support kind of your overall digestive system. So we know that consuming these calcium-rich dairy foods, they help build and support your bone mass. And that's something that people kind of forget about every once in a while. You know, you have to do that throughout your entire life. And then protein is another buzzword in nutrition. It's part of the dietary guidelines. Every cup of milk gives you 8 grams. In the yogurt section, you can get up to about 23 grams of protein by choosing Greek yogurt. And then cheese, it kind of varies depending on what kind it is, but it can give you between 6 and 11 grams of protein. And that's important because it helps to maintain our muscle mass. It provides lots of energy.
Breakfast meals and baked goods are where dairy products are often added. The same is true for soups.
You can always add cheese and, believe it or not, cottage cheese to your scrambled eggs. That not only adds some flavor, but it boosts up the protein that you're getting first thing in the morning. Milk is also a really important ingredient if you're making pancakes or waffle batter. And I always tell parents, just keep it simple for dinner. Your kids love scrambled eggs, maybe some fried potatoes and some fruit with a cup of milk on the side for maybe a really busy weeknight. You know, you can make a simple meal just using breakfast foods for dinner. So I do that pretty regularly at my house. So this time of year, of course, it's still still cold out. We want some warm, comforting food. So lots of soups have milk as an ingredient because it makes them a little bit creamier. You can use whatever version you want to. Don't forget, if you have lactose intolerance in your house, just buy that lactose-free milk and swap that in your recipe.
For entrees, pasta sauces, and casseroles can include milk as an ingredient. The St. Louis District Dairy Council publishes a recipe of the month. This month's recipe is baked oatmeal with yogurt. Nyman says it can be pre-baked with minimal prep time and then cut into bars as a quick, nutritious, and satisfying breakfast.
Instead of having a granola bar As a breakfast or a snack, this is an alternative that is very filling and nutritious. It takes about 5 minutes to put together. It only requires one bowl. It takes about 35 minutes to bake. It combines milk with oatmeal, a little bit of brown sugar, cinnamon, and nutmeg. You're adding in a little bit of apples and applesauce and some chia seeds. So it's really delicious served warm. You can put a little bit of Greek yogurt on top of that and add a little extra protein. So this recipe is rich in protein and fiber. You can make it ahead of time, cut it into squares, pop it in the microwave in the morning. So it just really helps. It's a convenient kind of grab and go option first thing in the morning. Breakfast is a really important meal, and this is going to start your morning off right. So it's called baked oatmeal, and you can find this recipe on our website.
In a broader sense relating to cooking and baking at home, Ninan cites research showing that it increases the quality of the food served as well as affordability.
So when you make your own food, you know exactly what the ingredients are. I always tell people this, you can always make swaps. You can take a look at that recipe. If you don't like this or that ingredient, or maybe you want to add some extra fiber, you can add to it. You can delete from it. You can kind of modify it to meet your taste, but also your nutrition goals. The other thing is, if you're eating at home, you're likely to eat more fruits and vegetables. So I try to serve those with almost every single meal. We always have fruit with our meals, but I also have been trying to add more vegetables, whether it's stir fried or fresh with dips at the dinner table. And people eat less fried foods when they're at home. I don't know about you, but I don't even have a deep fat fryer at my house.
Neither do I.
When you go to a restaurant, it's really easy to pick those foods that are just dropped right down into the fryer. Those have so many calories in them, plus a lot of really bad fat calories.
Research also shows that cooking with others is good for building relationships. For kids, it also helps them build resilience and self-esteem, and can even lead to greater academic success.
There's a lot of research out there on this. So kids who help with meals, it helps them learn to kind of take on some responsibility. They're learning some key life skills. So I think just really conversations with your parents. So kind of building up their self-esteem and saying, okay, this is, let's try it a different way, and just kind of mentoring them a little bit. So it is really fascinating to me. There's additional things that are learned when you bring your kids into the kitchen, and skills for them as far as their behavior and their social environment, and how it, reduces the amount of, smoking and drug use. And I just think it's just building relationships with your family, and a lot of core values start at home. And I think we've moved away from that a little bit. And so kind of trying to bring that back into the home, again, just provides a lot of positive benefits for your kids.
More information on the St. Louis Dairy Council, or the St. Louis District Dairy Council, rather, is available at stldairycouncil.org. Monica Nyman appeared as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. And now a word from First National Bank in Taylorville.
I'm James Kirk, Vice President at First National Bank in Taylorville. I get it. Switching banks sounds like a chore, but we make it easy. I've helped people and businesses move their accounts with less hassle than they've expected, and more personal service than they've ever gotten before. We've been here for nearly 70 years, a true community bank that's not going anywhere. If you're ready to make a change, we're ready to help. First National Bank in Taylorville, first every time for nearly 70 years. Member FDIC.
Anyone looking to gain skills in Microsoft 365 applications will have the opportunity to do so at Lincoln Land Community College's Taylorville campus. The college will host 3 day-long courses related to these programs at that campus. It's part of the school's Professional Development Institute, which hosts courses to support career advancement. The first Microsoft's course is scheduled for this coming Tuesday, March 3rd, from 8:30 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon. It will focus on the essentials of Microsoft Excel, including data entry, formatting, formulas, and making charts. It serves as a precursor for the second course, set for Friday, April 10th, also from 8:30 to 4. The second part focuses on advanced formatting, along with more complex functions, such as those used for looking up and referencing values in other tables. The final class is on Friday, April 17th, also from 8:30 to 4. This one turns to Microsoft Word and teaches the ways to create a variety of professional documents and use visual elements and mail-related features. Diana Habe-Bavona, Director of Continuing Education and Business Solutions at LLCC, says the skills learned in these courses are relevant in modern-day professional settings. She adds that the course series contributes to the college's broader goal of helping people advance their careers and helping organizations strengthen their teams and work. Registration is available at llcc.edu/tech_computer. Illinois FFA major state officers spent the first half of the academic year making chapter visits across the state. Paige Sirens, who is from Anawan, says it gave her a new perspective on FFA. Sirens was elected the first ever Illinois FFA Sentinel last June. Illinois FFA now has 6 major state officer positions. In these challenging financial times, off-farm income is getting more attention, says American Farm Bureau Federation economist Danny Munch. Munch spoke at this month's Illinois Farm Bureau Governmental Affairs Leadership Conference. Now to obituaries, which can be found at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. 79-year-old Betty Fines of Owanaco died last Thursday. Visitation is this Saturday from 2 till 4 at Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Graveside services will be on March 3rd, that's next Tuesday, at 10 at Oak Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 63-year-old Joseph Edward Frost Sr. of Tovey died February 13th. Graveside service with military honors is today at noon at Camp Butler National Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by Sutton Memorial Home in Taylorville. 93-year-old James M. Wilcox of Pana died February 18th, which was last Wednesday. Visitation is this Saturday from 11 till noon at McClure Funeral Home in Taylorville. The funeral service will immediately follow. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and cremation services in Taylorville. And 88-year-old Sona Beavers of Taylorville died January 16th. A memorial mass will take place on March 6th at 10 at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Taylorville. Interment will be at Green Hill Cemetery. Funeral arrangements are being handled by McClure Funeral Home and Cremation Services in Taylorville. Get local news anytime at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and every hour as well right here on WTIM, your only local news radio. It is currently fair and 23 degrees outside.
Digital marketing has its place, but across rural America, there's still one medium that farmers and ranchers consistently rely on: ag radio. Farm broadcasters